All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Um, all right, most everybody's in. All right, so again, make sure you're checking your exam schedule. That's on your homepage for fourth period exam is the only exam on Friday. So we will, in addition to today, have some more review days um, to get to Friday. Buenos dias. All right. And I don't know how to pronounce that one. Malaysia. I don't know how to pronounce that one. That one is new to me. But good morning anyway. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So we were looking at cell transport. Um, so let me share. So I'm not adding anything new today, but I do want to give you time to um it'll share. Come on. Everything's slow today. All right. Jamarian. Did we chat on Wednesday? Okay, so we know what we got to do. Okay. I'm trying to make notes of who I talked to and who I didn't. Okie dokie. So, um, what I want you to look at, um, let's see, I already have it up and I don't want to have it up twice. I guess I do have to do this. Okay. So, just a run through again. You do have review pages at the end of each of these modules. So we've covered the first three modules already. So again, I want you to use the overview so that you know what to do. We discussed viruses, the characteristics of living things. That was Ms. Gren. So what you need to know about the characteristics of living things is Ms. Gren. You need to know basic safety rules. You need to know what is the scientific method. We can look at that real quick so that we're clear. It's the steps. So this has steps to it. Good morning, Andre. All right. This is the part you have to know right there. You need to know the steps in order. In other words, what would you do first? And that would be this list of 1 through 8. You always start by observing. Observations always include all of your senses, and it causes you to ask a question. So it always starts with a question. Second step is to answer the question. It's your hypothesis, a possible solution to the problem. But it has to be a statement stated in such a way that you can test it. Okay, so it says that means if X changes, then something happens to Y. So that was based on what your observation is in the question you are asking. You need to answer it in such a way that if I do this, I expect this to happen. And then you set up an experiment to prove it. Your experiment needs to have an independent variable and a dependent variable. Independent what the experimenter used is sometimes called the manipulated variable. What you actually are going to change, and whatever you change is the change is dependent on what you do. So the results that you get from what you manipulated is your dependent variable. When you're reporting your data, there's different ways you can do it. You can have a graph, you can have pictures, you can just state numbers. So information that involves number is quantitative, how much information that uh, can't easily be measured, but it might, like I said, be a picture, it could be a description. I see the sky is blue, uh, or the like when we did the food test, saying what color the indicator turned. That was qualitative. It went from being blue to orange. That's qualitative. That's so anything that doesn't have a number is qualitative. All right. And then you have to look at your graph and interpret the graph. And based on your interpretation of all of your data, you come up with a conclusion. Your conclusion always has to either support your hypothesis or reject your hypothesis. Okay. And for the most part, that's where it ends for us. Communication can simply be stating your conclusion, but sometimes if you're a scientist, it means that you actually publish a paper and share it with the scientific community. All right. So make sure you know the parts of the scientific method. Just come back out here. All right. So that's section 1. Section 2. We actually did this review page. Whoops. All right, let me go back. Okay, here it is. So we actually worked on this. You got credit for this, and turning that in is what you got a grade for. Now there is one for the unit that we're on now, but being as we're doing the worksheet for cell transport, we are going to not collect the review page for this one. Oh, just a reminder too that there is a copy of the macromolecule chart. This is what you need to know for this unit, this module. Everything on this chart is what you need to know for that module. So study that. All right, again, for this last one that we're on now, we're on cells and cell transport. We are not doing the microscope. So I might do that on Wednesday for something to do. We will do that. But that's not what you want to do. What you do want to do, so, okay, you are turning in. This one is turned in. Okay. This worksheet gets turned in. So if you're not finished with that today, make sure you turn that in today. Can't get out of this. Nope. Okay, now what you can do for this unit today, but I'm not collecting it. I'm going to have you do this one. Yeah, let's do this today. I believe, okay, it is available to you. So let me put this in student view. Let's do this today. All right. Andre, I believe you've already done it. How you got access to it, I don't know because it really wasn't available at the time. But so you are reading. So based on the cell membrane and what you know about transport, and you're going to look at this. Yeah, I guess it was, but it shouldn't have been because it had last year's date on it. But I got you. Um, look at the arrows. This is a cell membrane. It's telling you about sodium, it's which is an ion, and potassium, and you've got an ATP molecule, and you've got these brown structures. So you need, based on what they are, it said four students were given the diagram above and asked the teacher to determine, and asked by their teacher to determine whether this is an example of passive or active transport. So that's your goal, is to figure out, is it active or passive, and give evidence to support their answers. All right, so this is the students involved. They picked one and they gave evidence. Your job is to, based on their answers, this is what you have to do. Figure out which one is right. That's all you have to do right now. Okay. All right, so this is in the module. This is in the module. It is saying cell transport discussion. And I need everybody to do that now, because we're only going to do that. I'm only leaving this for a few minutes. So everybody needs to do this now. This is the last new assignment that's going to be in the grade book. It was already in the grade book. I just had to figure out. I didn't want to delete it because I did want you to do it. So I need you to do it now. All right. Then after that, there is a worksheet. Like I said, we're not doing the microscope. So skip that. We'll do that later. But go to the wrap up page here, and then you can look at, no, that's the wrong one. The study guide for this unit looks like that. I would use it to study. I'm not asking you to turn this in. So notice it wants you to know what the function. So this, you can use your other Cells Alive worksheets to help you with that. That's all the organelles. You need to know the difference between a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell and what they have in common. The difference between a plant cell and an animal cell and what they have in common. And then this is basically what you're working on the other worksheet, this part here. So again, don't necessarily do it for something to turn in, but you should do it as a form of review. Okay? All right, so back to, okay, I'm going to stop sharing and stop talking so that you can answer that question. I'm going to do attendance. So everybody's doing the discussion question. Discussion. If you've already done it, then you need to go ahead and work on your review. And again, everybody should be doing that now. That's not something that's going to stay open. I'm not taking any late assignments after October 1st. The semester ends, so that by the time you do your exam, I should have all your grades in, and all that needs to go in the grade book is your exam. Everything after that is going to be for next semester. If we do the microscope on Wednesday, that's also a grade for next quarter. Everybody should be working on the discussion question and submitting that. No. Uh, that's a wonderful, I got your answer, Derek, and not Derek, gosh, Derek is the person. Andrew, I got your answer. You're great. You're great. No nerd sounding there. That's because I was looking at the question. I trust me, I won't call you that again. Um, only one person is right, Abernathy. Folks, so only one person is right. Look at their reasoning as well. So you got to look at the whole thing, not just did they pick the right one, but did they pick have the right reason why? Hold on. Okay. And, okay, yeah, they both are correct. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It does say students in brackets. It does say students. Yes, it does. Yeah. And actually, it starts off by telling you that Kayla and Derek both agree with each other. They just phrase their reasoning differently. So yes, it does. And it says Sabrina and Marcus agree with each other. Yes, it does. All right, so if you see a picture like that on the test, you should have an understanding of the correct way to answer that question. There will be pictures. I still have a couple of people who haven't turned in their um, cell transport worksheet, so make sure you've done that. And again, with that, the pictures of the red blood cells that'll be on the test, so make sure you can tell the difference between hypotonic, isotonic, and hypertonic. Our tutorial is today at 1:30, 1:35. So if you need to pop in to ask a question, please do so. Again, no grades will be changed after Wednesday. Missing my page. All right, y'all need to remember that the chat is just for classwork. Y'all having a real nice conversation going on here. I got two people who still have not submitted their work for today. Please make sure you do that, get that out the way. That should not be late. Everything else, go back to, but answer this question is real quick, fast, and in a hurry. You know that's you. It depends. It's National Dumpling Day. I actually have some. You can have vegetables in your dumpling. You can have meat. The ones I have in my fridge right now have chicken in them. But those are those. They look like. No, it's going to be about 30. There'll be 30 questions on the test. You can look at about 10 for each module. So you put me in mind to make the ones in my fridge disappear. That would be a good thing, good thing. And a good reason to make them disappear. National Dumpling Day. Alrighty. Okay. A lot of conversation. Okay, folks. Looks like most of y'all were doing some other homework anyway. So hopefully the few of you who had some work to turn in have done so. That being said, y'all have a great weekend. You are welcome to log out if you have submitted everything. If not, stay for another 2 minutes and make sure you get that turned in. Other than that, have a good one.